Rinpoche today continued the final perfection, the perfection of wisdom, and explained that it is the knowledge that things are not truly established. Conventional wisdom is any wisdom that is not about emptiness or cessation. Ultimate wisdom is necessarily about emptiness or cessation. Oh, gosh, Sita Kalikasa. Sem Sopiomai. No, thank you. I think I'm good. Thank you so much. No, thanks. Are we good? All set? Okay, Digson. That's so? That's so. Less so. Less so?
Yeah.
Okay. So if we were to combine all of Buddha's teachings into some format, we could summarize them into three categories. The teachings shared in common with beings, the teachings for beings of three capacities. So the first division of teachings, so it would be, let me start over. So if we were to divide all Buddha's teachings, we could divide them into three categories. The three categories of teachings for beings of three capacities. So the first category is for beings who wish to achieve a higher realm rebirth in their next life. And this is the teachings shared in common with beings of small capacity. And these practices are going for refuge to the three jewels and engaging in the ethics which abandons the 10 non-virtuous activities. And depending on these practices, one achieves a higher realm rebirth. The second level, teachings shared in common with beings of medium capacity, are for those who wish to achieve liberation or an individual nirvana. And those practices are the three highest higher trainings, highest higher training in ethics, highest higher training in concentration, and the highest higher training in wisdom. And in dependence upon these trainings, one is able to achieve his or her own individual liberation or nirvana. Then the third category of teachings are the teachings for beings of great capacity. And these teachings lead to Buddhahood, and the practices within these teachings are the generation of the mind that aspires to enlightenment, and once one has that, then practicing the 6 perfections. And we've already gone over the first 5 perfections. Now we've arrived at the sixth of the 6 perfections. So that's where we are today. 222, divisions of wisdom. Diesel.
That's one by shadow. Somba shero ke yawa no son des dan to batan kunzu
That's up.
kunzu to batan seje dan shawa to bi shero boss
Less so.
ta dan to bi shero to kana jagorosna da me be to khona ni to shi gune je wa dan ngo to bi gune je wa wos ta dan to bi shero ta gande ne chuna deba maruba tubi shero de la wodan tubi shero seres tubi shero ne dame be to konani to shi dame be to konani tubi shero de la to shi tu tuba dan ngosun tuba ni ngoro da
The Yanjur Surinam, de Kali Kali, the Ngusun de Yanjur Surinam.
da dame da kan de toni tubi shero de la to shi tu tuba dan ne ngosun tuba ni yodrota tenshi chuju tuba de ne jolan menche teje jolan menche toni tuba lo du su tenshi chuju tu lo imbare da malang ngosun ma do na da ngosun tuba lo tonlan ne golan lo la jeje toni ngosun tuba lo du what to see inside.
Okay. All right, so the divisions of wisdom. The presentation of the divisions of wisdom has 3 parts. Wisdom that knows the ultimate, wisdom that knows the conventional, wisdom that knows how to act for the welfare of sentient beings. So the first category, wisdom that knows the ultimate. Wisdom that knows the ultimate cognizes the reality of selflessness, either by means of a concept or in a direct manner. So here, the wisdom that knows the ultimate is cognizing the lack of true establishment of phenomena. So the reality that things are not truly established. So that there are two ways in which we could categorize the wisdom that is gained in relation to the reality of no true establishment, no inherent existence. One is by means of a concept, and that would be any wisdom in relation to the ultimate, that is gained from at the path of preparation or below. So ordinary beings grasp. So anything that is a wisdom that arises about the lack of true establishment of phenomena, the reality of the lack of true establishment of phenomena, that is not a direct perception. So then the next is in a direct manner. In a direct manner refers to the wisdom realizing emptiness directly. So that occurs from the path of seeing on up. So the path of seeing, the path of meditation, and then of course the no more learning. The Buddha has this at all times. So the ordinary beings' paths, the path of preparation or below, is where we find these wisdoms that arise that rely upon some kind of a sign or concept, and then beyond that, direct perception occurs from the path of seeing on up. Okay, Geshe Rinpoche. Less so.
수시 연락도 나를 이도 가도도 나를 배서나 나마로다. 오늘 나 왜 말이 배서나 나 왜들었다. 네. 다주 소송을 뛰네 도버스. 마드버로 와도 말스. 마드버로 와도 매버들 돈라 그랬어.
다신 두신 라데네. 다신 두신 네미. So the way we can establish this lack of true establishment or selflessness, the reality of selflessness. So the selflessness of the I, for instance, if we were to try to understand this, we begin to establish where this I is. And we know that I am here, I exist. So when I begin the investigation, I begin with the knowledge that I'm here investigating. So we begin there, and also it becomes part of the meditation. So beginning with I exist. So if I exist, how do I exist? Do I exist inherently somehow? So then is my I somewhere in my parts, or my branches, if you will, my parts? Is the I my shape, the shape of me? Is the I my color, my hue? And then when we start to try to find this I in this manner, we don't have luck. So then we're once again stuck, well then I'm not here, but then the reality is that there is an I that was investigating. I was investigating. I have come to a conclusion that, so then where is this I? How can this I be if it's not findable, but it exists? And the way that it is explained is that this I is merely named on this collection of parts and colors and shapes and hues and all of these things that come together that form as a basis of designation to be named as I. But there is no I that inherently exists separate from that. Diksun. So all phenomena can be analyzed in this same fashion. So the way we looked at the I, we can look, in the manner that we looked at the I, we can look at any other phenomena and apply the same reasoning and arrive at the same conclusion. Diksun.
돈이 당고대니 자거스 돈도 돈이 당고대 근데 퇴중고대 라제중고대 세번째고대 어떻게 돈도 봐 일러 그래
Ale. Yinde? Dundandemba yinde?
dāng dāng yīndē
Gershine.
tātū chūjī tsima, tātū chūjī tsima sōng yīndē yīmbē yīshir.
Tatut sama.
dāng dāng chēnyi tījā yōrō.
Okay. All right. I always try to go above my knowledge. I don't know why I step in this trap every time. The wisdom, the Detsyanja Sur Lamrim Che.
tātū chūjī tsima,
So,
tātū chūjī tsima sōng yīndē.
so when we look at ultimate, the ultimate or ultimate Dundandemba, if we look at ultimate truth, we can divide it into two categories. Emptiness and true cessations are also under that category. And then I asked in the debate format, well, why? Why are true cessations ultimate? And it has to do with it. It is the final recognition. It is abiding in a state of the final. It's abiding in a state of emptiness. It's something to this effect. It's the final realization, abiding in the final realization. So because you're abiding in the ultimate and it's part of cessation, then it categorically goes under ultimate truth. So you could investigate that further. I'm not going to do that here, though. That's good. So if we were to then the Dasidan Geche Shena Kali Kali Ganginsena Dasidan Injike Zu Kali Kabudu. Then if we were to compare the two topics, so we're looking at them, are they 3 possibilities, 4 possibilities, mutually exclusive or synonymous? When we look at those 4 possibilities that and we were to compare the phenomena emptiness, the tomba nidang, and ultimate truth, there would be 3 permutations or 3 possibilities. Kya. Okay, so if we were to look at what pervades what, so kangla kangi kyap. So what pervades what then? If it's 3 possibilities, one has to pervade something. So then the answer would be, if it is emptiness, it is necessarily ultimate truth. But if it is ultimate truth, it is not necessarily emptiness. Posit that which is not emptiness, cessation. So, dene? Dene nika yimba? The kanga. So then something that would be both would be the hearer's into cessation. The hearer's cessation would the nyentu goden tomba niyen? Nika yimba. Yo, we gotta redo that one. The nika tomba ni dan dundan demba nika yimbi mu? Nyentu goden tomba ni yomare. Nika yimbi mu. Doni dopi shera? The subject, okay. So something which would be both would be the subject form is not truly established. Would be both ultimate truth and emptiness. So the subject form is not truly established. So this would be the common locus. We find that if it's emptiness, it's ultimate truth. If it's ultimate truth, it's not necessarily emptiness. Posit that. Hearer's cessation. Hearer's cessation is not emptiness, but it is ultimate truth. Then something which is both, common locus, you would say the subject form is not truly established. Then nika mayimbi leilabudu. Then something which is neither is so many things. Neither ultimate or emptiness, very conventional truth. So when we look at conventional, it's any phenomena that isn't Doni Mayimbi Chu.
추이나 군도 되어 있죠.
Doni Mayimbi Chu. So phenomena, it's really read strange when I
돈이
go.
고네 가로 많이 추서로.
Toni Dango Den.
가로 많이 추이나.
So if it is a phenomena that is neither among the two, emptiness or cessation, then it is a phenomena that is conventional. Okay? Dixon.
다 군도도 비셔라 제비능아 지야도래 제비능아도 비셔라가.
Less so.
제비능아라 케비 싫어데 노드젠레스 제비능아달라 좀 마지 버 파주기 장 타지 쳔바 님은 주데 대다유나 젠다 차주 제주 제주다 다니 군신 샤셔 달라 대전샤 셰송바따르 네 템발라 메바나 템발라 마메바나 차지비 시르다다 네 텐시리바스 템발라 마메 템발라 가바제데 마메바도 차지야 네 가리요 나가는 가르자고르스나 다리바다 텐시리바인데스 다리바다 당아주어데 산스크리트 다 베이다 자이드 강가 인지레 다리바 다다 텐시리바 다한다로 다한다 네 대발로 마면 그 차지야 된 다한다라 되네 네 그 가토로데 텐시리바스 텐시리바다 템발라 메바나라 펜다비셔 조단 소아리바스 조단 하조야 캄바조야 네 전에 소아리바 메마르 무슨 어떤 tenini들에서 다 템발로 메바나라 펜다비셔도 네 조리바 캄바조야 하조야 어떤 소이지로다 전에 소아리바 펜바 펜기리서 펜 라니 군셰바라니 그셰바 샤이셔 나리바 라니 나리바 초안에 고바셰다바 일라스 다 난도리바데 나노리바라니 군셰바 샤이셔 라니 사지 고모투비셔 나리 나노그리바데레스 나노리바 초안에 네 고바셰다바 일라스 대타지 장 사지 투비셔도 조원에 시라면 보고 제비 내가 강가로 내가 리베 강가로 사지 고문 투비셔도 네 고바디셔도 네 잡을 쳐봐요 말 집어레스 참말로 사지 고문 투비셔도 내가 리바데 사지 고문 투비셔도 내가 리바 자고레스 셰바오
Rimshe. Nyanga Ripa, the Ripa Kanga Yomare. The Nyanga, the Nga. The Ripa Kanga Yomare, Yoruba.
Tembala meba, Sajibishir, Dariba, Tensiribas. Dariba, that's Hanzakati, the Jai, the Payikanga.
Chishina the Ripa Kanga Yure.
Yoruba.
Okay, Dixon. Sabudu. Okay, so wisdom that knows the conventional. Wisdom that knows the conventional is wisdom that is proficient at the 5 topics of knowledge. The ornament for the Mahayana Sutra says, without making effort at the 5 topics of knowledge, even supreme noble beings do not reach omniscience. So they must strive for these so as to refute others, care for others, and to know everything. So the topics are distinguished by the different sorts of purposes for pursuing them. So here we'll show the reasoning behind why we pursue them. So to refute those who do not believe in the teaching, you pursue knowledge of grammar and logic. So grammar and logic would be, for instance, Pali and Sanskrit, other languages, in order to be able to debate and to And as a translator's note, this isn't in a competitive way. We're in the wisdom section, so this isn't a way to solidify your wisdom and help others have wisdom. So you are refuting them for the sake of helping them have wisdom. It's not a competition. You can see the quote also in Madhyamika Avatara Chandrakirti's text. So sorry about that. Just wanted to make that note because it reads a little bit like refuting others. And that the point is to help other sentient beings. Not for competition. So to refute those who do not believe in the teaching, you pursue knowledge of grammar and logic. So to be able to use correct signs and reasoning to provide these points to others, so that you can establish what you're saying to someone who doesn't believe in it, and establish it in a way that is incontrovertible when we look at it in terms of signs and reasoning. To help those who do not believe, you pursue knowledge of arts and medicine. Arts is a big category. Building houses is under arts. Just anything would be, that's a very broad category. So you might need to, someone might not, for instance, have anywhere to live. So you might need to help them build a house or help them with their house if something needs to be fixed. So that's arts. And then also all the things we would think of as arts would fall under arts as well. And then medicine would be, becoming a doctor or knowing all about medicine to be able to help sentient beings. And then to achieve knowledge of all for yourself, you pursue Buddhist knowledge, but to attain Buddhahood, there are no such distinctions between them. You must pursue all topics of knowledge. So it's saying, obviously, you need to study Buddhism and know Buddhism, but in terms of becoming a Buddha, all of these are equally important. So knowing the arts would be as important as knowing Buddhism in this context, because it's an object of knowledge that's necessary to know to become a Buddha. Rinpoche, the ngepa nga dan ripa kanga yuna namchen dandra yomaribe? The Shanchu Samba the ripa kanga yurabe? I was just asking Rinpoche. It sounds like if it's asking one to become omniscient before he or she is a Buddha. And he said it's not really omniscience. Similar, because you are trying to know all things. There's a cause and effect. Okay. So Rinpoche said that it's similar. It's a similitude to omniscience, but a bodhisattva who has maybe achieved this, if they're still he or she's still a bodhisattva, they aren't omniscient yet, but they know all. Even if they know all of this, there's some distinction. Rinpoche said. Decent. So bodhisattvas can be found in all 6 realms of cyclic existence, in the 3 lower realms and the 3 higher realms. So we have bodhisattvas in all of those places, learning everything in all 6 realms. Yomaribe. Lo Shanchu Semba Yanju Surinam. Lesso. Lesso. So Rinpoche is questioning now. He's saying that there are bodhisattva. The Lo Shanchu Semba Yurbe. Okay, so there are bodhisattvas that are nagas, and then Rinpoche is questioning whether they have this knowledge of the 5, because they're animals. A naga is an animal. So when you start to break it down, okay, a naga, what's a naga? Naga falls into the category of an animal realm. So how could an animal they have these riches and so forth, but how could they have these knowledges? Because they don't, it's one of the characteristics of the animal realm, that they're ignorance. It's one of the main problems. Rinpoche is saying, could they have these 5 topics of knowledge if they're a naga? And so he just put the question out there. Decent. But the one who would most readily achieve it would be a human bodhisattva, would be able to learn these, are the most readily accessible. Something like that. Easiest. Decent.
다 송바 sentient sentient do shiro de la donjo juji yoro takazonga zo nandu la jon te yo computer le sare
Less so.
sentient na jes sentient na jende da shemi don kanama dowa meba ruby tsusheba shaos sentient na je chende da 저와 심한 편지지 또 카나마 도와매봐 루비 추셔버샤오스 어디 저답이 내주시비 싫어달라 세전 돈시버 두비 싫어데스 루비체 세전 돈시버 루비체 제다샤와네 싫어도 손 제비체 너는 두비 싫어 군도 두비 싫어 세전 돈시버 두비 shiro de sun jebi tsena tamba doden do shawa dans tamba doden de tamba doden de jawures jimba tamba zoba tamba tsudin tamba santen tamba shiro tambas waden jawus on den sa tamba doden de shawa dans shindo dans pashin doden ani jimbi pashin tsudin pashin tsudin pashin shiro pashin what passion to jawures no ta passion de la ju paru de shimba dan devi paru de shimbas ju paru de shimba sanji gumun tuji ne passion to la ju paru de shimba devi paru de shimba sanji ge toju shiro ji passion is what in said
The Chapagare Rinpoche, Shintu Dan, the Duns.
다 신도들네 파신 조던 방법 조던
The Chapagare.
고아때 먼저 요르제 지바로다 고아먼저 요르보다 방법
Different way
조던
of thinking, but they're the same. Different thinking, same. Okay. Tuche.
야
So number 3, wisdom that knows how to act for the welfare of living beings. Previously, we went over the 11 ways to work for others in Pabunka Rinpoche's Liberation in the Palm of Your Hand. It's already on video, so we needn't go through it again, or you can find it in the text, Liberation. Wisdom that knows how to act for the welfare of living beings knows the way to accomplish blamelessly the welfare of beings in their present and future lives. Rinpoche didn't really comment very much on that. Wisdom that knows how to act for the welfare of living beings, he just referenced those 11 points in the Liberation. How to practice. When you develop the 3 types of wisdom, you do so in association with the 6 supremacies and all 6 perfections. The generosity of wisdom is establishing others in wisdom after you have stabilized yourself in it. The remaining perfections are as presented before. So the 6, and Rinpoche was explaining the 6 supremacies, or the excellence of these 6, and the 6 perfections are the actual perfections, going to the other side, the causal going to the other side, resultant going to the other side. Perfection is literally translated as going to the other side. So sometimes I automatically just translate it as that. So if you hear me say that, it's just going to the other side. The other shore is what this perfection really means. If you were to break, and we've just decided on perfection, because the 6 going to the other sides would just take so much explanation, so they've chosen perfection. So Rinpoche said supremacies and perfections are similar, but there's just a different way of thinking about them. That's all. But it's just the supremacy of the 6 and the actual 6. So it's a way of looking at the 6. The generosity of his wisdom is establishing others in wisdom after you have stabilized yourself in it. The remaining perfections are presented before. So we have we have causal and resultant perfection. When we're looking at the 6 perfection, the causal and resultant perfection of generosity, ethics, patience, effort, or perseverance, concentration, and wisdom. So when those are the 6 perfections. So so if we were to literally translate it, you'd say each among them that has gone to the other side. So to the other side, other shore, meaning from not perfect to perfect. That's the other shore. The other side is perfect. Dixon.
Jen shiro lo ngoba de shiro ji jimba res shiro jimba no shiro lo ne jen shiro lo ba ina ne shiro ji jimba res no shiro lo ne jen tsuti lo ngoba ina shiro ji tsuti shiro ji santen shiro ji ne
Zupa zupa.
shiro no shiro lo ne jen shiro ji da lo ngoba de Shiroji Jimbo, Shiroji Jundu Zuba, Santen, what the Nija.
So we see how each of the perfections can be combined. So we look at wisdom, it could be the wisdom of generosity, the wisdom of ethics, the wisdom of patience, the wisdom of perseverance, the wisdom of concentration, the generosity of wisdom, the generosity of concentration, the generosity of et cetera, et cetera. So this is how you would look at the combination of the perfections, and they all do combine if we look at them.
Tadagi tuanduwa ne.
Do shit.
Toni ngosong tu bi shiro yue jang ne shangchu ji seme na te shangsen ji sheba menju shebi den senji ji bi du tang ne satunbi shiro ji pashi na jang menbi yu du she ne rungwa dang e she ji tu chenpo gona meba zubi shangchu Zubra shebi ta shiro sung jeba la tata ne Beijing tiba tsugu de tata maji na saja yu tsu dang ge ne nye dong ki dong ba dang tsira jen dong ma do tiba la maga yu shangchu ji sen ji saja na la lupa menu la Sende shiro jibi ta na la be na de ma la be tongwa kejin shiro jen do yang ne la zang ki shuba le songba tar shiro ji pashin de la do zuba shiba nubi shiro sa wa da den mo da du jin songwa do de le de do ngaba da ga do ne tongba ni ngonsong du chubi shiro yue jang tongni ngonsong du bi shiro yue jang tongni ngonsong du se na nga su me gi zu thwa na jin tongba ni thwa da ngonsong thong se de ngonsong du tongba ni ngonsong du chubi shiro yue jang tongni ngonsong du bi shiro yue jang shangju ji sen ma ba yin na shangju sen ba ma ba yin na te shangsen ji xue ba men ju yu shangsen ji xue ba men ju yu ne xue bi den sen ji ji pe dang ne xue bi den te jin sen ji de si jin ta ji ge dong do zu bi son ji gu mo tu ba sha wo nya be sen ji de ji pe dang ne wo de xie jiao gu re se sa tun bi xie ro ji pa xin na jiang men bi yu do sa tongba ni ba songba la so de shero do dana ju le yue ma de ma ban su ju le jiao shu su ma la da gu res men bi yu de xie ne yong wa da e xie ji zu qian bu gong na me ba zu la e xie ji zu dong su na zu ni le ba da ne e xie ji zu qian bu dong ni du bi shero la so de ga lo e xie ji zu ro da e xie ji zu yin de chudu jukuni janan zu zugul chugul aje juje risne ba yimbe jer wote imar tate toni du shero chu she zu yide 추수 주권이 저는 또 추구를 아진 주제지 리스네 봐 인베저
Den pui kabar kasno.
아
De kabar tsar.
돈도 나바
Adun
돈도
leso. Den chu kangaloson.
돈도 돈이 무슨 도도비 새로 여장 상주 세면나 상주 주서 돈이 무슨 도비 새로 여봐야는 상주 세면나 테면도 돈이 무슨 도비 새로 여러 안에 상주 세면자 안에 상주 세비 쇼바래 말었다 상주 세보 말었다
Leso.
돈이 무슨 또 되어야돼 테면이 쇼바도 네 상주 세비 쇼보 말했어
Leso.
쉐바 먼저 쉐비된 세지 상주 안에 상주 세비 쉐반조 알아 상주 센줄 제고레스 쉐비된 세지 제베도 땅에 사톤비 쉐러지 파신나장 현비유도 사동문이 벌어서 쉐러도 그걸 줄 지어서 물란다고레스 현비유도 전에 용하다 에시지 수 첨부 공나매봐 이 첨부 공나매봐 누바 쉐비 더 쉐러송 제발라스 에시수 쉐러송도 여봐야니 에시수 공나매봐 어디 야부 용거 뭐라고다 쉐러송 제발라스 도don도 비셔러 군도도 비셔러 지내지 된셔도 비 쉐러송 제발라 다다네 베진스 다다는 가리자고 그래서 퇴바 초구대 근데 버차면 못하고 그래서 따고대 다다 맞이나 사지 조다 사지 조던 게네 년동근 좀 받았어 네 사지 조던 게네 어디 동아고 년동 고용 그래서 년동 샤 샤주 선배 다들 제면 처음에 되지 동안 두진 이제로부터
De sena.
아
De tama. Na
다다 맞이나 사지 조다 게네 샤주 선배 도와던 게 그래서
leso.
년동 좀 받다 년동 주
네.
그완종 그래서 자 그완종
Okay.
안에 서로진 동안스 모두 퇴발라 천들로 왔들로 천들로 아버 맞이는 서로진 레드는 루정지한테 봐 용어 말했어 서로진 동안 모두 퇴발라 무가유스 안 천들로 왔들로 아버 맞이는 서로진 레야 안에 왔들 루정지할 가부 용어 말했어 천들로 아버 제바이는 서로진 동안 안 루정지할 가부 용어랬어 무가유 상주지 생 상생지 라자나라 루바면라스 상주생을 가보면 안 상생 라자 루알 가보용 말아 면라 천들을 셔러집이 터나라 메나 천들을 셔러집이 터나라 메나 다버자 때 산에 아버당 담아이나 안에 셔러를 하도 말배 소수 부차부터 안에 부차루 산에 아버당나 천들을 셔러집이 터나라 메나스 천들 부차부터 산에 아버당나 안에 셔러집이 터는 배고로 터나라 메나스 디인데부터 저 샤만나서야 돼 야부용 그래서 메나 데 말라비 동아 계신서 대답이 대달 말라비 동아도 계그래서 동아서 나와대 말라비 예바도 동아로도 동아서나 대 데부터 내손 동아 어떤 그 차나 동아로 오지로다 동아 계신스 사바이나 동아데 가토 그래서 계신 서로 전도야 라장게 슈발레 송바터 셔러지 파신 들라도 조바셰니 셔로스 천들레 셔러루나 아버지나 안 저는 처럼 먹을때네 네 셔러도 와데 렐라바 용거레스 들라도 조바 셰니비 셔로스 대달 동아니기 랑지 용신 동아니기 랑지 용신 파신 둘레 산데라 냐레 림바 중지 하라 중지 하라 yen가라 냐솔레비 림바 논하유스 대다기 냐레지 네 두바당 내시집이 더 중지 시바이데스 다지르면 되는 걸어나고도 안에 대단 동아니기 라지 용신 쇼스나 신두들스 시스보바자 신두레 산데라 냐렌지림바 조지 나라 yen가라 냐솔레비림바 논하유스다 저르미제 시조구들레 산데가 냐렌다 아우준도스 예다가 논사샤스 워드드ün 갈리 카비샤유로다 yen가라 냐솔레비 림바 논하유스 다 젬바 추진 조바 전드 워드스글로 야보문도 손대사 산데 아우준도스 저르미 시조구들레
That's so.
논하유 대다기 냐레지 네 두바다 대다기 냐레지 네 두바다 내시집이 더 중지 시바이데스 워드스 저쪽 대다 뒤네 워드 제르미 중지 송바이엔스 중지 인데 제다와도 진해발라 미비 싫어 뭐 하동 제다 냥수 람비림바다 산대지고 신의 냥술레비림바 용초와 나네 용유된 제바를 오네 템바조로스 워드서도 다든마다 다다마 동아니기 라지 정신로스 단도당하 도선 가르서 그래 하스는 가르 동아가 제바 가르스 워드서 내군도와 가서 지슈버에 아자 지슈나야 말로 도당하
That's so. Chapagare.
단도 당하 제바 쇼스나 다바지다 나바티베 랑군도에 받달라 네 하지 다바지다 나바티베 랑군도 메받달라 네 워텐도 임바렌도 워테서다
Okay, dead school room. Chichumama Losa.
야
Injikezu. Okay, so.
대단동아니기 랑세도 오늘
That's so. Niki Lama. Okay, so a summary we've arrived at. Even if you have the wisdom that perceives emptiness, it does not be. Hold on one second. Yeah. Even if you have the wisdom that perceives emptiness, it does not become a bodhisattva deed without the spirit of enlightenment. So steadily increase the spirit of enlightenment, the basis of the bodhisattva deeds. Next, aspire to the wisdom at those high levels and then train your mind in it. The spirit of enlightenment alone, or bodhicitta, won't allow one to achieve enlightenment without wisdom. So that's why it's directing one here from if one has the spirit of enlightenment to generate this wisdom so that one can then generate half of the collection necessary to become a Buddha. So we have the collection of exalted wisdom and then the collection of merit or method. And it is this collection of wisdom that gives rise to, in terms of the bodies of the Buddha, the truth body. So that's why the importance of, and the connection in terms of concordance results is. So that is in terms of, and then the collection of merit creates the form bodies, the emanation and enjoyment bodies. So here, wisdom is important to gain because it's the other half of what is necessary from method, wisdom, to achieve Buddhahood. Next, aspire to the wisdom at those high levels and then train your mind in it. From this moment, you must strive to produce the three types of wisdom, the method for completing the peerless, great collection of sublime wisdom, and you must study. For if you do not do this, you contradict the principal precept and will then be destroyed by faults and infractions. In future lives as well, you will not take pleasure in broad learning. Consequently, you will be unable to learn the bodhisattva training. So by not engaging, it creates a barrier to one's future lives, connecting to training in it, connecting to knowing it, connecting to wanting to study it. So it's for that reason that one needs to maintain a stable connection with this wisdom and the understanding it through the series of wisdoms, the three types, in order to achieve a complete understanding of something. Whereas if in this life you strive at the methods of developing wisdom, you prevent the infraction of not training in the six perfections as promised. Then in other lives as well, as the questions of the Sabahu Sutra says, you will easily be able to complete the perfection of wisdom. So when we look at what was promised, that's in terms of the Bodhisattva vow. This is assuming, because we're in the six perfections. Translators note, we're in the six perfections section. So when someone becomes gets bodhicitta, then he or she has aspiring bodhicitta. Then once he or she takes the bodhisattva vow, it's engaged bodhicitta, and then they practice the six perfections. So the assumption that's where we're at in the terms of where the person studying this is in realization. Then in other lives as well, as the questions of Sabahu Sutra says, you will easily be able to complete the perfection of wisdom. Nowadays, from among the six perfections, the center post of both the Sutra and Tantra paths, there exist in slight measure the stages of the practice of meditative stabilization, but the stages of the practice of the other five perfections have disappeared. Therefore, I have explained the key points of their practice in abbreviated form and a little of the method for generating certain knowledge of them. Here it's saying that there seems to be a lot of focus now on meditation and not a lot of focus on the other five: wisdom, generosity, ethics, patience, and perseverance. So that is point that's made here. So if we were to then look at the differences between Sutra and Tantra, so it says the center post of both Sutra and Tantra paths, the six perfections are. If you want to be successful in practicing Sutra or want to be successful in practicing Tantra, all of these six perfections are indispensable. One can't just take one or two. All six are necessary. So if we were to ask what are the differences between Sutra and Tantra, it's in terms of how one practices and whether or not there are the four purities being engaged in. So the four purities are purity of basis, purity of environment, purity of enjoyments, and purity of activities. So these four purities are found in the tantric vehicle, but not in the sutra vehicle. So any path or practice of pathways that doesn't have these four characteristics would be sutra. Anything that has these characteristics would be tantra. Okay, Diksung Rinpoche, the Donga Chapa Dik Lapsang. Okay. Lessa.
And so desage and combat the German Jay Kangune in Yabasandana. Lessa. So desire combat the German Jay Kangune in Santabaina. Taba. So German in Santabaina. Jutaba. Then Chuba to Zungalo and Samege 네 뒤중군에 예냥 산다바이나 롱쉐 다바 되는 제바 다바 드마 들어갈 외제주 네 세제지 데리장 네 가사 안 타바다 타지 심벌은 거 벌어서 뭐도 산다나 제바 다바 이거래 제바 다바
Leso.
되는 산다바 이나는 마오바는 거네 용아요아래 용거래스 더 고나 주생 가르스나 대직 추나 대바 모두발라 대바 두바 존네 레사네 네 송송로서 뭐 주안도 왔어 주아 유에나 네 어디 대바 모두바 대바 모두바 두 싫어 지비고네 네 소소 드망원에 인야바다 드마 라이 제이 칸다 롱셔 타발라서 도서 단다데 공기나 뭐보다 거네 요아요 총배에서
Do you understand that?
어디서 소소 드마고
Leso. This
다바 주다바로
self-do. This is self.
소소 네
타마.
컴바데 네 드마 제이 칸고는
Leso.
다바 되는 롱셔 다바 쳐바도 말봐 쳐바 다바 제바 다바 드미 토갈 외제트 신경 드리장 타바도 타지 제발은 거봐
Leso.
어떤 제바 다바 말봐
Leso.
근데 공부 있나
Okay.
마오바는 거는 좋아요 알았어
Leso.
예데 덴지지 데마 마르고 좀 데바도 좀 발라테네 레겐사네 녀알서 좋아요로 여바가 총배해졌어
So Tenzin.
덴지지 데바도 진 안에 데바사나 안에 그냥 좋은도
Leso.
어찌바를 총배해졌어
So these four purities are practiced in the following way. So if we're going to use Tara as the example of the deity. So when we meditate on Tara, so first, the first category is purity of environment. So when we engage in this meditation, we imagine that the environment that we are abiding in is the actual, for instance, if we're in a house, we imagine that it's actual palace of Tara herself, and that we're in the pure land of Tara herself. So we imagine that our environment is the environment of Tara. Next, the basis, the purity of basis. When we generate ourselves as Tara herself, we are imagining that we truly are Tara. It's not a dual or two things happening where we are meditating on Tara. We are meditating as Tara. So we imagine that we are Tara, and that the place that we are, our abode is Tara's abode, and that the enjoyments that we use are pure enjoyments. The waters and drinks are nectars, and foods are nectars, and so forth. So we imagine that everything that we utilize within this perfect environment is a perfect enjoyment, that one of which the Tara would enjoy herself. Then, finally, is the perfect activities. So when we're meditating on Tara, when we're sending out the light rays from the seed syllable that then goes out to sentient beings, and then and out to the universe, and then the giving and taking of this light rays. That was a really bad placement, because giving and taking is a sutra practice. So the emanation of these light rays that then go out is something, while you're imagining yourself as Tara, is something that is different in the Tantra tradition, that can't be found in the Sutra tradition. So the utilization of these rays. And as a translator's note, in the initiation, you use these rays to hook light and so forth, and to bring them back into you. They go first to the Tara and self-generation, and then to you to purify, so then you become a suitable basis to become one with Tara herself. So it's a similar, so this giving of the lights and so forth isn't found in the Sutra tradition in this way. So that is how you would do this Tara practice. And the reason for this is so that you eventually go from an imagination, an imagined practice, to the transformation into that actual deity. So and as a translator's note, I want to make this clear. You don't become, when you become a Buddha, if you practice Tara, you don't become her. You are your mental continuum as a Buddha. All Buddhas have the same qualities of omniscience and so forth. So it would be Lich Buddha, that through Tara practice, Lich Buddha became. It wouldn't be now Lich is Tara. When we say this in Tantra, we become one taste with Tara. It means those qualities, the perfect body, speech, and mind that she possesses becomes one with ours. And so ours becomes pure body, speech, and mind. So it's using an example of a deity who has this purity to imagine ourselves as that pure being. It's using it as an example of our own potential. Okay, that's the best way to say it. We're meditating on an example of what we ourselves will become. But when I say we will become, it doesn't mean we become her. We obtain all of her excellent qualities. So, but we don't take on her identity. Tara stays Tara. Tara won't change. Tara is Tara for good. That's, in translator's note, that's her enlightened name. But Tara, before she was Tara, was many lives, just like we have had. Okay, enough. We're using our imagination so that it later becomes our actual reality. We're familiarizing ourselves with this reality and all that comes with it. This is something that's exclusive to Sutra and Tantra. And then it's this grasping at true establishment of ordinary appearances is also negated. And it is the grasping at true establishment of things as being this or that gives rise to the lower realms of cyclic existence. Just a slight presentation of what the tantric vehicle and how the tantric vehicle uses imagination to transform. Imagination becomes a familiarization with what's imagined. And then once you're familiar, it's almost acting as if until you are. Diksung.
Tata Shanchu Sambatsu Shindula Tene Sanji Gures, Mahumba and Shanchu Sambatsu Shindula Tene Sanji Gures, what the song is.
So all of the previous bodhisattvas relied on the six perfections. All of the current bodhisattvas will rely on the six perfections, and all future bodhisattvas will rely on these six perfections. Diksung.
Shanchu Samba Sang Ganjawa Tanji Shindula Tene Sang Jawa Shansa Le Shinduri Tara Nedendo Sombe Debata Mahumbadan Tata Shanchu Samba Nanji Droba Jibi Lando Shebra Shawa Dance Ne Droba Jibi Lando Shebra Shawa Shindut The Druga Chu Tanjiji Jasu Chenmo Yinwe Nyalenji Ne Dung Nyalenji Ne Dung Lana Meba Yinde Shansale Paru Shimba Drubunda Da Ki Lana Meba Yandaba Zubi Shanchu Yandaba Tubi Tubra Shebi Shanchu Semba Nane Gabi Chuji Chuchenbo Tang Gabi Chuji Jasu Chenbo Shawa Yindes Da Shindu Do de Jasunda Bude Song de Yinzat Shawa de Sentient Tanji Ji Naba Tanji Pansung Subi Jurun Wuche Chenbi Jimba Yinwans Tanji Chenba Sentient Tanji Ji 나바탄지 평송수비 주편 주르무지네 지마인노스 senjent 나바탄지도 senjent 나바탄지도 평송수보야기 주 tuud kar jimba rede jimba jo panso rimbache jimba yino jimbe longshe tinji des jimba dangi na longshe cha jaje panso soba yongor sonde yinzare jimba yino dedar dedagi sona da isheji su yanda ba ruba pado meba ti rimbache tarlana meba yanda ba zubi shangchu dan tumba tabosa shangchu dan tumba tabos shangchu dan tumba tabo jeme do jesus jeme dosa ta shindu do del nyala nega chibris del labe shangchu seme nyala yo mar son de sare zubi shangchu dan tumba tabo nyala ne shangchu seme shindu le jembe nyala Okay.
Therefore, I have explained the key points of their practice in abbreviated form and a little of the method for generating certain knowledge of them. Below, I will teach at length 2 topics that come from the classic texts: the stages of how to practice insight, wisdom that observes the nature of reality and diversity of phenomena, and the stages of practice of meditative serenity, which is meditative stabilization. All bodhisattvas who will attain Buddhahood do so in reliance upon the 6 perfections. The bodhisattva level says this emphatically at the conclusion of its discussions of each of the 6 perfections. Hence, these 6 perfections are to be known as the one path traveled by bodhisattvas of the past, present, and future. And because these 6 are the great ocean of all virtues, they are the perfect summary of all the key points of practice. The Bodhisattva level states, Bodhisattvas who attain unsurpassed perfect enlightenment by these 6 perfections are called a great river, a great ocean of virtues. Generosity and so forth are the most precious causes of all excellent things for all living beings. Accordingly, there is nothing comparable to the perfection's immeasurable completion of the collections of merit and sublime wisdom and their fruit of unsurpassed perfect enlightenment. Dopa mambo yomare. Dope dene.
Ta na ju meje pashin tu yen ju meje du ngoboje. Ta na ju meje pashin tu sa ne. Ta yen ju meje du ngoboje jigan le gwa. Ni ba yen ju me ba je be doa je la ngas. Yen ju meje je ane doa je sheba de sa je nga de gwa.
Leso.
Nga je nga jo sana du ji ngo doa je ngo je ja gu ju sen ane du ji shile tene ko du be tela ten go bas chungse je ba she bas wa de sa je nga de gwa sa je nga
Leso.
doa je de ma she ba sa je nga
Leso.
다 너무 도와지 못 들어와 도와지 못 줘서는 못네 짐바네 파신지 거수 셰바던 달라스 짐바네 파신 셰바 거수 셰바레스 다지 뒤지고는 짐바 동으로 파신 신루 거수 짐바 시사바로 짐바 짐에 농수 trenchide 근데 짐바도 신루 거수 셰바 짐바레스 짐바네 하 파신 거수 셰바던 달라 신루 거수 셰바 짐바레스 짐바 짐에 농수 짐바던 농수 용그레스 달라스 다 니바데 해봐마와 근데 제일 그자시도 그자 해보시 워르스 해봐 파와네 두절라 파신나 덤바우스 ane kicha nyambi tunma kowade pashin duma sheba tala nyeba ma os Chenmo.
Jesse,
Chenmo
okay.
Mao ne, Dujala, Pashina, Dumbo Wosa. That kitchen jam, Henry too, ne, Pashina Dumbatala, Chenmo Mao Logris, Chenmo Mao. Don't show ne, Cheddar, then be, don't la, Deja, shouldn't you, Juba, Yantaba Land Juba Wosa. And the Suzu what they, and the Sharon is Yana Jebaina, and the Zena what they, Sharon Yana Sabatala, what the Jagu is that. Don't show but that then be done, la, Dujala shoot in Juba, Yantaba Land Juba was Suzu Yana Jendale Robert. Juba Wo. Don't think about Jela, don't know la shawa, Tela, Ryan, Nene, the down, Tuba Rubates, Susan Yanaje, Jen Shero Yana, Low, and the Susan Shero Yanama Jen Rigo Maris, Jen Loban Susan Yanaje Gures, don't think about what there is. Don't think about Jela, don't Kala, Jawa Tela. Ryan, Nene, don't think. And the Jen Susan Lama Jen on the Jenda Khensur Rinpoche. And the Kurungaji, Natul Shagan, the Kurunya Mandus on Tangrota. What the Jen is about Susan Yanaji Gures. Don't think about the Jenam, don't call a Jawa, Tela, Ryan, Jen Shiro, and the Susan Sharon Yanaji Gures. Nene, Tata, Tumba Luba Day. Do the Jenless, do the Jen Josh among do the Jen, do the Jen, don't do Jen, Jen Nani, do the Jenle. Jenton, Teton, Lanju Dan, Dani Jesu, Juna J, Heba Mata, Jeton, Teton to Debain, Chesos, Teton Debain Chesos, Tetama de Condre and was. Jenson Teton, Lanju Dan, Jen Shero Jimba Damaina, and Land Juba, Lanju Dan, Dani Jesu, Juna J, Heba Da Danza, Juba Dance, Heba Mata, Kajan Hebujan Mashi Wures, Heba Mata, Shoot Dance. And then Heba Mata, Jen Sheba de Susu Yane, Jen the Yanaje was Shero Law, and then Susu Shero Yanaje was. Continue to Debain, Shes was never G. Sher, Duji Mo, Duji Jab Jusento, Doa Jagu Jusente. Niba Doaje Jagu, Jusen Karasana.
That's Gurimche. Yeah, Kali Kali. And Chiwa Yuri, Dodajen Long, the Rang, the Dondagar, that's good. Dodajen Long Kayar.
Dodajen, Jenson, the Dun Lanju Danza. Jenson, that Jimbatan Kisa Tamarbe, Jenson, the Dun Lanju Dance. And the Shero La Subatolo, and the Nyalanche was Mal Sabatala, and the Casa. Yesu to do Lanju dance, Shero Loba. Loba Land Juba Rota. Dani Jesu, Juna J. Dani Jesu, Juna J. And what the Shindola Subat Mashedu. Kecha Chenmo Jen Shegures, Juna J, Heba Matans, Chenmo Jen Shegures, Don Shudan, Don Tun, and the Jen Lao Shero Nyalan Shegures, Lao, and the Susu Nyalan Shegures.
Ale, Susu Nyalan, they're wrong.
What is it?
Ale, Jen La, Susu
Nyalan.
Ale.
What is it?
Okay, tuche. Okay. All right, so now we've completed the section on the great treatise on the stage of the path. What's the main title on it? Just the perfections of meditative stabilization and wisdom, chapter 14. And it's not chaptered in the same way, number-wise. It's in English, chapter 14, we've completed, and now we move on to the 4 ways of gathering disciples. I'm sorry. Oh, yes, helping others to mature, the 4 ways to gather disciples. We begin training the 4 ways to gather disciples that help others to mature. Training in the 4 ways to gather disciples that help others to mature has 5 parts or 5 divisions. Number 1, what the 4 ways to gather disciples are. Number 2, the reason they are stipulated as 4. Number 3, their functions. Number 4, the need for those who gather a following to rely on them. And number 5, a somewhat elaborate explanation. So number 1, what are the 4 ways to gather disciples are? Number 1, generosity is as early explained in the section on this perfection. So previously in the text, we have this explanation of generosity, so it's just exactly how it's explained before. Pleasant speech is teaching the perfections to the disciples, and it's teaching it in a way that is pleasant, so easy on the ears. And just as a quick translator's note, when Rinpoche always explains this in a way, Rinpoche, Dalai Lama's brother Datsa Rinpoche was very close with Rinpoche and invited him to come teach many, many times. And also we went out to see His Holiness. And he had these very big Rottweilers, a couple of them, and then these other dogs, and they were very vicious and rambunctious. And he would just say, when they were going crazy, and coming at people, he would say, Jesse, okay, Shinga, okay. So he would say it in this very pleasant, calm way. And there was chaos going on, but he was still speaking in this very calm, gentle fashion. So whenever Rinpoche explains this kind of speech, this way of talking, he always says, Jesse, okay. And that is just him reminding me of the time with Datsa Rinpoche, and he was very kind and would just stay in the midst of chaos, just stay as calm as could be, and that's the pleasant speech, speaking in a way that is very easy on the ear. So much, 10, 15 years, I remember him talking to his dogs. It was so pleasant. So anyway, I just wanted to tell that story and just tell everybody that the love that Datsa Rinpoche, who's passed on, really had for Rinpoche, because Rinpoche is such an amazing scholar. Working at aims is setting disciples to work on the aims as they have been taught, or involving them in correctly taking up these aims. So this is teaching one's students, one's followers, the proper way to behave, and how to, if they wish to achieve certain goals, such as Buddhahood or the lower liberations or higher realms, there are specific ways to do that. And then the next is consistency of behaviors. This is, if one is teaching something to others, then one has to be practicing what they're saying to others. So this is the consistency of one's own behavior, meaning is stabilizing yourself in the very aims in which you have established others and then training in them. The ornament for the Mahayana Sutra says, so ornament from Mahayana Sutra is one of the 5 treatises of Mahayana's doctrine, it's called. There are 2 ornaments. Jenyi, the Jetsun Shamba, the Bechanga, Jenyi. Lama. Okay. So we have the 5 treatises of Maitreya's doctrine are as follows: the discrimination of phenomena and nature of phenomena, discrimination of the middle way and the extremes, then the ornaments, the ornament of the Mahayana Sutra and the ornament for clear realization, and then the 5th is the sublime continuum of the great vehicle. So this quote that we have here is from one of the 5 treatises of Maitreya. So this is states, generosity is the same as before, teaching the perfections, so the generosity of giving the teachings. Teaching the perfections, involving others and taking them up, and involving yourself. are asserted to be pleasant speech, working at the aims, and consistency of behavior respectively. So this is teaching it to others, but doing these practices that you are teaching to others yourself, and stabilizing yourself in what you yourself are passing to others. So making sure you're stabilized in what you are teaching to others. Dikson Rinpoche.
다 도와je 도 심바제 전쇼 전투니제 해봐모 대지들 도와줘서 도와
Lessa.
네 다 심바들라 추지 심바 상징이 심바 문제비 심바 송요 말봐 추지 심바 가서 추든 시바들 추지 심바서 말봐 추지 심바에 지금 이제 처강도 놓아도 추시버서 고고 말되나 소소 가능하게 좀 되는 지는 추지 심바 되거든요.
The Yanjur the Ewasum, the Kali Kali Kali.
Chujijimba, Sanjingijimba.
Sanzin, the Kala.
Kala to Dana.
Okay, material.
Ne, Manjibijimba.
Fearlessness.
Manjibijimba, and the Baji Chunmakan Yunguduna, and the Chun Tuba in Manjibijimba Maraba. And the modern Tandu, the Modalangal, the Buddha Saint Yobaina, what the Masiba would do Yubaina to Manjibijimba Maraba. Manjibijimba. Then Chujimba, Sanzingijimba, Manjibijimba.
Tuche.
Jimba Sonde Druda. Then that don't shoot and the Jen Chunda Shibaina and Suzuki Yalaji Wures and Kajan Hembujin She Wures or Digit Sansona and the Duja Jendal Pendegres, Jetamatona Pentu member.
Less so. The Geshe Nyimpa, the Datsa Rinpoche, the Datsa Loji Lasso, Ngama, the key, Jisio K, So, when we look at generosity, so we go back to this. Generosity is the same as before. So generosity is divided into three categories: the generosity of giving dharma, the generosity of giving material things, and the generosity of giving fearlessness. So these are divided. The meaning of these are as follows: giving of dharma is teaching. Giving teaching the proper ways to get to what the disciple is trying to achieve. So teaching the disciples properly and setting them in a direction that will allow them to achieve their aims, achieve their goals. So this is the giving of the Dharma, the generosity of Dharma. The next generosity of material things is giving away material things, food and drinks and money, things like that. And then fearlessness. So the generosity of fearlessness or giving fearlessness is, for instance, if there's a bug drowning in water, if you can somehow gently take the bug out and save it from drowning, this would be generosity of fearlessness. Or if when you're driving down the road and you try to avoid an animal or try to avoid a being of some sort or a bug, you try to stop or you try to avoid it, then this is the generosity of fearlessness or giving fearlessness. So there are many different examples, but those were two Rinpoche gave. So we need to recognize that these are important, but we also have to make sure that the other three ways of gathering disciples are there as well. So we need to have this generosity and then also speak pleasantly, make sure that we're working at the aims, meaning they wish to achieve Buddhahood. We shouldn't be teaching them a way to achieve something else. And then consistency of behavior is making sure that our own behavior is concordant with what we're teaching. And our practices are concordant with the practices that we're teaching. Digsun. Dene jutsen.
Niba doaje jagu jutsen karasana, jutsen deres. Niba ne ji shir doaje nenshe na. Ko gawala jai shir ne dubala toma te gagula sa. Na sozu ko de gawalunga bola na go ane susu gosa gaba chunguru gaba mena ane wate yungu mares te gagu laasa
Data.
te cheto karasana nyeba ma ane jemba ta nyeba ma to sen jero da gagu la te an sanjin ki jemba shene le la pen doba la tu sos sanjin ki jemba ta ne ane loma te le la pen to sona ane wate loma gaba yungu res te an sanjin ki jemba shene le la pen doba la tu sos sanjin ki jemba shene ane le la pen do sona ane ko gaba yungu rewa tu so te tar ga ne ane loma ga sona ga ne lan la jo la ko gaba je sona ane ko time ga lan goya tiba chimbe lan goya chibe chungu lan goya ring lan goya chibe chibe lan goya ngo bal jo la tomati 제대로 샤투 셰고 라사 사 집에 중국 최단 링기 최 집에 집에 나는 거 봐라 수수 집에 중국 나다 링기 나다 집에 집에 나도 셰고 그래서 마시는 제가 셰도 말레스
Marshi then she took more guys.
엔더스 된 셰고 그래서 마시는 제가 셰도 말어
Marshi the den.
타존도 좋고 저 대시 받는 거 아니겠어
Okay.
수수 고조되는 제가 셰도 말어
Oh, okay. Tuche.
마유 최시비 메시바다 특종 돈에 로마 가수나 최시비 메시바다 특종사 돈에 전시지 말로바 제도 주비시로사 로마가 특종사도 도바 돈에 ane wade shinji maluba la jubi chetures nyamba mawata wadu sen samarba jubi shiro te dara sheba na tuen shebe gwa druba la juba shela asa loma gazona wade te dara shebe chibi chungu la ndinga la chibi chimbi la duzole ane lagures tele tigures te araki maduna jela jodu che detar shaguzo shishibane churaya tente maduna jela de doji chishirmas en churo nyale jemondo ngasul nyale jishun lagres ta te araki maduna 추강시야 데 수수냐래 맞은 이제는 시바이나 안 이제 상로를 그러냐래 지금은 동아술 가르친 시고라서 대거래서 다 대야라게 마두나 제라 요도데 샤고소 셰셰바네 셰바나 체나야 되도 마두나 제라 데도지 지시르마스 그러냐래 지금도 안 알가술 가르친 로고레스 lagres jishirma chöjön tadun jenji chuguso shisene dudumanyelas ane suznyala maji jen sheba inawade ane churungale ngatur sheba churung tamanyala jegundu lagres chöjön tadun jenji chuguso shisene jenla den lagundus sene dudumanyelas jen khanye marase ta rang druba shi ina daja ganla chunba gawa dala kuraya nebar shebe de duna daja la phemba da dawan jo ngen hanas ane kurun sheya da ngasul loba ina 다 그런 거 냐네 제금도 가술래 제금도 어떤 냐네 전에 야부 연구에서 해서 봐 제가래서 다 다자라 폐바다 가술 폐바 연구에서 너와 중에 냐네 사도 조진 쇼심바나 안 투바 사도 마지바 사도 중에 투바 시 작은 주가 시 심바 나자 마두바스 마두바 안 어디 단다 하만 나지 않아지 그래서 마두바 땜바 주유스 안 투정군은 땜바 차 그래서 땜바 주유 들었네
든든.
전 튜바 그비시도 어디 전 튜바도 그래서 다 젠라 안 수제 냐라제나 전 튜바레스 튜바 그데 페바시비 터도네 페바시비 터도네 제바시다 조제다 대신 제수 조제바 류용어보 징내샤 셰소스
Then the kai.
도아제 내비 주세 되면 도드제
Lessa.
야
Chishina the indicate then a kagang in the
어
two
던지기도
down.
던지기도
Yene mem shit a mumbo yomare chikshina the that's more.
오케이
Chishin Chan San Lugari be.
어 던지기다
Okay, so number 2, the reason they are stipulated as 4. Why are the ways of gathering disciples said as 4? And this is all written in a debate context. So it says chishir, which is what you say when someone establishes something that you don't believe. You say, why? So this is like, why? Why are there said as 4? And it says, reply. In order to gather a following of disciples for the sake of establishing them in virtue, they must first be pleased. So they have to like you, they have to like the process, they just have to find joy in it. It has to be attractive to them. So for this reason, it says that the teacher first pleases the disciples in various ways. This, moreover, depends on your giving them material things, providing benefit to their bodies. So helping them, meaning medicine, or helping them in some way. Because by giving food and drink to someone, you're helping their body, you're helping them to be well. So this is an example of how a material thing would benefit their body. Thus, please, they first must know how to connect to the path. So the teacher needs to give the appropriate instruction that will make them want to practice. So has to give the reasoning behind it, if you will. Providing benefit to their bodies. Thus, please, they first must know how to connect to the path. That is to say, by using pleasant speech to explain the teaching, you cause them to cast away ignorance and doubt, and then to correctly apprehend the aims. Once they have understood these, you cause them to accomplish virtue by working at these aims. However, if you have not accomplished virtue yourself, when you say to others, you have to engage in this, you have to reject that, they will say, why do you tell others accomplish this aim when you do not accomplish it yourself? You still need somebody else to correct you. So it's important to practice what you're telling your students to do, so they don't see you as a hypocrite or see you as the hypocrite. Accomplish this, you still need somebody else to correct you. They will not listen to what they have to practice. So if they don't have faith in you and they don't think then they won't listen to you any longer. But if you are practicing yourself, they will think this person is established in virtue to which he or she is leading us. So we will definitely derive benefit and happiness if we accomplish it. So seeing the student sees the teacher as a role model, and there's nothing to deride. So it's for that reason the faith stays intact. They then either engage in it anew, or for those who have already engaged in it, do not reject it and become stable in it. So for this, you have to be consistent in your behavior. The ornament for the Mahayana Sutra says, know the ways to gather disciples to be 4. A method to give benefit, involving others in comprehending the teaching, involving them in engaging, and in likewise involving yourself. So this again is the ornament for the Mahayana Sutras, one of Maitreya's texts that is among the 5 treatises of Maitreya doctrine, and this summarizes the points that have been made above about the pleasing or giving benefit, involving others in comprehending the teachings, teaching it to them, involving them in engaging in them to actually engage in the practice to apprehend the aims, and then oneself actually practicing what one is teaching. So these are the 4 as presented by Lama Tsongkhapa and from the ornament for the Mahayana Sutras. So at this point, we're going to do question and answer period, Rinpoche said. So please ask questions.
Okay, my question is, I don't know if it's silly or not, but I hear so much about Maitreya,
Okay.
and I was just wondering, like, is he going to come to Earth anytime soon?
Okay. The Nampa, Jetsun Shamba Mambo Gichi Shegudu. Jetsun Shamba, the Ngatsu Zambaling, the Arila Gemma Yongore, Arila Dandrar, the Ngatsu Zambaling. Jetsun Shamba, Gemma Yongore, Pegore?
Sanjiniba what Jaga Dujin, Josh and Paperis. Tanda Shajaman Budarwa.
Lesser.
Moba no the Josh and Bango with Jaga Dujin, Sanjin Zibaziris.
So Jakar Jagore?
Jaga Dujin.
Okay. It states that Lord Maitreya is the Buddha that comes into our world after Buddha Shakyamuni. So Lord Maitreya will be the next Buddha to arrive. And it states that he will be born, it's prophesied as he, so he will be born in Bodh Gaya. In India. But it's a long time away. Like if you read, like it's the lifespan goes, check it out. Yeah, it's not tomorrow. Unless things really start happening quick.
We've kind of asked a variation of this question before, but how do we know what we should be focusing our attention on, what we should be focusing our practice on today in Western, like for us here in the room, like, we're not in the monasteries, we're not monks, we read these teachings, but they are in theory for more advanced practitioners. But so, what does Rinpoche recommend that if we have to divide our time and our attention into our practice, are there certain aspects that he thinks we should be focusing on? Like, how do we know where we're at in our development? And, if you talk about future lives in our development, how do we know, like, what the essence is that we should be focusing on today if we have, options?
Okay, then konchiwa de. Ngatsu de genye, ngatsu drapa yomare, ngatsu ani yomare. Den sunsang ngatsu lekala drongu, ngatsu chinsang ire, ngatsu chelatsapo, the nima dakpar, the chelatsapo, nima dakpar, the leka mambo ire. Yine ngatsu nampi chu nyamlan che tugudu. Yine the nampi chu, the landang chichen, the mambo ire. Then tanda ngatsu the shine dan latung becha logudu. Ngatsu de le mason gangin sine le ngatsu the shine hakumare latung the gonjana the nyune omare gangin sine ngatsu sarpa sardandar. The den susan ngatsu the shera kali kapo lo yine ngatsu de nyanlen che Kali Kapuldu. Dene the Chan Salo Garyube, Ngatsu Sarpa, Ngatsu Drapa Yomare, Ani Yomare, Dutsu Mambo Yomare, then Kandre Ngatsu Gari nyanlen chegudu, gari pentokshu, ngatsu susur. Gangisuna ngatsu kanga, kakare. Ngatsu sheba, kakare. Jewa ngama, lobjung she, kakare. Then ngatsu the lam, ngatsu kabiyare, kanga kakare. Then ngatsu kandre hakodu, pentoshu. Kandre. I asked in a very clear, detailed manner.
다지진나 수 레카 뭐부 요아레스.
Less so.
오늘 데모레스.
Less so.
이나 최제야데 생툴 제네그데 생수수 나와로스. 레가 제나 생 최우산단 돈이 산단 샤마든 히지고가 레라버로자. 생툴 산단하로. 어디 레가 요나 생툴 산단 도로스.
Then kongi chua there. Then shamba dan ninji yakshu yine kon sampa chikshena mekashi the nejon sanlodangu shamba dan ninji the gonja tugumare kali kaldu dene ngatsu kandre the ngatsu susur kandre hakodu ngatsu jantro the nimadak par lojung she ninji lojung she yine ninji nimadak par lojung she jantro mashena pentogomar the kongichirwa tambo nipa sumba yurube
다들 말해서 가요 말 수수생 가진 토토로다.
less so
내가 요나 생산 당도로다.
less so
내가 전에 생 돈이 산당도래 희지 산당도래 샤주 생산 당도래 생수수랑 하로다. 수 생돌지야레스.
Nene the nyamlen jipu songdang jar ke chemple do the tambo shenen gens detsu the tambo the shenyen densu gonja mambo shenyen densu yapo chana dene jantro lobjons did andrar
다도 너무 신의 대주다. 다 너무 소소 최도도 야비 she송나.
less so
신의 대주 레글 해용을 해마도 다문이는 신의 대주 칼리카브레스 최를 사는 어떤서 고아차송나. 근데 신의 대주 레글 해용을 했어.
Okay. So, yes, there are, it is very true. As lay persons in the West, there are a lot of duties to do. Everyone has to go to work. Everyone has many activities with their family and many responsibilities and things that they have to carry out. But while all of this is going on, our mind, in a lot of ways, is free if we're doing physical activities. Our mind isn't bound by that activity in a complete way. So we can be driving, we can be carrying out a physical task. Rinpoche is thinking something like hammering or mowing. We can be carrying out these physical tasks while meditating. So our mind is free at all times when we're engaging in things like that. So there's a lot of time during the day where we are working, but our mind is free. So our mind can be meditating and thinking and doing analytical meditation while we're engaging in our worldly activities, and we're then incorporating these thoughts into our worldly daily activities and using these practices to kind of move forward on the path through our daily activities, generating more love, generating more compassion. Now, everyone in this room is at a different place, path-wise. Everyone has different karma, previous lives, different things they've studied. Yes, we have common karma because we're all here together, translator's note, but everyone here is on a different place in a way. So I asked Rinpoche, so do we begin then with guru devotion and then see how we are with... And Rinpoche said, that'd be very difficult to do that because why would you even study a guru devotion if you didn't feel like Buddhism as an overview made sense? So why would you... So Rinpoche said he thinks that what you do is you get the overview of the generality of the way the path works. The three principal paths, lay it out. First this, then that, then this. You get the general overview, and then you as an individual, as you go through these, you go from after you have this overview and realize that you are attracted to it, and then you begin to go through the stages as they're presented. If you have this prior realization, it'll be very easy and you'll go right through it. It'll be something that you'll know when you get to this barrier that you don't have a past familiarity with it. This is after you really, really know and have studied and really, like what we're doing. And then what we're doing, if you go back to the first volume, this is a translator's note, you'll see that there are stages. It tells you where you start, and then you do this, then you do that. Once you have that overview, you do translator's note again. There's a meditation that's called glancing meditation, running meditation, where you're not analyzing it. You can meditate in 15 minutes the whole Lamrim. You know, you're just glancing through the whole thing. That's kind of the overview. So in one of Pabunga Rinpoche's like short texts, he says you glance the whole path and then you go to where you stuck. And then you know what I mean? You glance the whole path and then you focus on your area you're working on right then and there. And then you get past it like a year later and then you're the next one. But every day you're glancing the whole thing. So I can show you that. It's in appendices. I'll bring it next week. It's a really great text I think everyone should read. It really shows you how to apply the Lamrim. So your mind isn't bound at all times to your work. So you can utilize that time to change your mind and transform it into one that will cause Buddhahood. So everybody's at a different place. You'll be able to determine that based on while you're familiarizing whether it's like so clear or it's not. And when it's not, you've got to gut it through analysis and figure it, and then you'll arrive at it's true or not, and then you've got another barrier to figure out why it's not. So it's getting clarity through all of this and understanding it in your own way.
So
the mind is so important. What creates the three realms? A mind.
My question is about the actual experience of emptiness. Like where all of a sudden all thought stops. And then you're in a state where you rest in what is. I was just wondering, is that an experience of emptiness or a part of emptiness? And if not, you know.
So you're asking if when you... So it's... I just want to be able to relate this question. Do you mean like this idea that you're chopping wood and spontaneously you see emptiness and then your mind, like this kind of like sudden, like everything stops and like your mind empties? Or it's really a process up to that. Like you would have this very firm inference. You would understand it intellectually as clear as day before you realize it in the way you're speaking of. So I just want to ask the question correct.
Let's say you're like chopping wood, and you're thinking, you know, but you're in a calm state, and then it happens all of a sudden.
Well, what is all of a sudden? How have you heard of this?
Thought stops.
But how? But I've never heard of all of a sudden. Just you know what I mean? Like somebody's doing something, and all of a sudden they're in like a state of. I've never heard of such a thing.
They have no desire to think. You have no desire to think.
Have you heard of such a thing happening? Like somebody just all of a sudden is catatonic? Like
no, you're not catatonic in any way. You are there.
I know. I'm just trying to figure out what experience. If you're talking about something you've read in a text that's happened to somebody,
no,
something that's happened to you.
I've experienced this, so
Okay.
And I'm just wondering if that has something to do with emptiness.
Okay. And I'm always just asking all these questions I'm asking because if I don't clearly ask Rinpoche the question, then we're not going to get the answer to the question you're asking. He might answer a different question, and then it'll leave everyone confused. The Doni Dopi Shira, the Tonlan Lena, the Tomani Ton, the Kon de Segdu, Ngama Kon Sampa Chikshina Kon, the Doni Dopi Shira Yure, Gangis, the Mekashi, the Sampa, Ngatsu Lekache, the Mekashi Shin Ja. Dene, the Leka, the Sanlodan. Dene, the Keiji, Sanlo Mindu, Yomare, the Sanlo Yomare, the Sheda Tomba, the Dopa Yomare, Sanlo Yomare, the Karma Kashi Chikshena. The Tomba ni?
Tomba ni, that the niches were, but now, Nasa was, not what the Suzuki Yala to Namaros. And the Nayo Marivasana, Nayo Yoro, not the Pompusuba, Tuni Tuvares, Matuba Ramatu Maris, Ramat Mabatele, Tony Lodegres.
Yene, the Doni, the Tonlam Lena?
Lesuna than make his own one, I don't want to
Yene, the Natsu, the Bechakashi, the Yure Arela, the Natsu, the Lanka Kambajadu, then Natsu Tomba Niton, the Natsu Kambaja, then Natsu the Den, then the Natsu Sem Tomba, Sem Salo Yomare, Sem Tomba, Sem Jpag Sema Gu, Doni Dupi Shira, Jpag Sema Gu, Lobjung Gu, Mekashi Kailan, Lobjung Gu Gumare. Okay, the Kanga the Geche She Ronang Rinpoche.
Yeah.
The Tambo, the Jpag Sema. Okay, the Kanga the Ronang. Tambo Jutsen.
Jusen Latin Shigres. That Tomo Quachasuna, that only second vegetarian man in Quachasuna, Tujung Sheros Gres.
Less so.
Then Jusen Latin Yabungasuna, Jebatsamas, Sanjun Res. Then Yana to go to Shinetosuna and Gonjon Levres. Then Shinetting on the Suit to be Shero, then the Latin Res.
The Tonlam, Tingenzi and Gu.
Tonal Tingenzi, you're the Tingenzi Mayaba Momu Yoris.
Tonlam. Yene, the Tonla, Tingenzi Mena, Tonlan Le Tugudu. Okay, true. Okay, so the process of seeing emptiness is a very long process that has very specific stages that lead up to an actual direct realization of it. So first you hear about the subject of emptiness. You hear that I am not truly established because of dependent origination. This book is not truly established because of dependent origination. When we analyze the nature of reality, we come to the conclusion that things do not inherently exist. Though they do exist, they just don't inherently exist. They all are here, but the way that we perceive them to be here is incorrect. So once we hear this teaching, then we have what's called the wisdom arisen from hearing. So then we take this information, once we've understood the information that's come into our ears, meaning that it's been said in English, it's said in a language we understand, the words that were told to us were words we understand, so then we have this subject in our mind that we can then use to analyze because we've heard it. Then we get what's called the wisdom arisen from analysis. And this is the process where we begin to go from this just understanding at an intellectual level of just a base understanding to where we combine calm abiding and special insight, meaning we've gained single-pointed concentration and have the ability, as a translator's note, to focus on one object without any distraction or thought for 4 hours straight. So you have single-pointed concentration, and you can unite that with this wisdom and analysis. Once you've united this wisdom, which is analysis, with the single-pointed concentration, you've got a calm abiding that's united with a special insight, you have what's called inferential valid cognition. Inferential valid cognition is incontrovertible, and it is valid cognition. So you intellectually know beyond a shadow of a doubt and understand beyond a shadow of a doubt emptiness, but you have not directly perceived it. You have only used a correct sign and reasoning to establish it as incontrovertible truth. So at that point in time, you're at the path of preparation, and you have this union of calm abiding and special insight. You go through 4 stages of this through the path of preparation till you're at the last mundane state that you're an ordinary being. And at that point, you have an inferential valid cognition of emptiness in a complete way. And then from there, from that point, you go into a direct perception of that emptiness that requires the calm abiding and special insight to be fueling it, but that isn't necessarily present in a conceptual way at the apprehension of emptiness. So there's the uninterrupted path, and then the path of release from emptiness. And after that, one is a first ground bodhisattva and has the complete knowledge of the Four Noble Truths, has seen and understood the Four Noble Truths directly, and cannot ever be born in the lower realms again, and is a very high holy being at the path of the first bodhisattva ground. And the Dalai Lama has said that he's heard of one in his whole lifetime. Any other? I think that's it. So we'll do the concluding mandala offering and dedication prayer. I wish it was, because you could just. Wish it was easier. This is also hard. I wish someone could just knock me out and it'd be over.
Jump on the trident, maybe.
The trident, yeah, that'd be good. I'd do it. It'd be easier. Okay, concluding mandala offering dedication prayer. The fundamental ground is scented with incense and strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the 4 continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha land and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure realm. I dedicate whatever virtues I have collected for the benefit of the teachings and of all sentient beings, and in particular for the essential teachings of Venerable Losang Drapa to shine forever. I send forth this jeweled mandala to you, precious Guru. I dedicate all this virtue to emulate the knowledge of the hero Manjushri, and likewise Samantabhadra as well, with whatever dedication is praised as supreme by all the conquerors who traverse the 3 times. I also dedicate all my roots of virtue for the sake of auspicious deeds. In that pure land, surrounded by snowy mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness. All-powerful Avalokiteshvara, Tenzin Gyatso, may you stay until samsara's end. I pray for the long life of the precious Khensur Wandak, upholder of scriptural and realizational doctrines, spiritual friend who trained extensively in the 5 great philosophical texts with exceptional wisdom and perseverance. Tuji Rimchi Gutsi Shapi Denronang. It's very important to always check, like what you just did, when